Hello, everybody. My name is Professor Jeffrey Winkle. I am the Humanities Professor at GRCC, and I just wanted to send out this short welcome video to all of you who are taking my Humanities 281 Exploring World Religions course this upcoming semester. So I just wanted, in a few minutes, just to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about the course, and give you a little bit of what you might expect as we get going. Um, and we hit the ground running next week, and a couple of things that you might do before courses officially begin. So let me introduce myself. My name is, like I said, Jeff Winkle. I've been a professor here at Grand Rapids Community College for the last 5 years, in the Language and Thought Department, under the banner of Humanities. My personal kind of education and expertise background is in ancient Greek and Roman studies, which I got my PhD in from Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. That's reading ancient Greek and Latin and everything having to do with the ancient Greeks and Romans, mythology, ancient religion, tragedy, comedy, poetry, anything that brackets the ancient Greek and Roman world is kind of where I'm coming from, and we'll certainly be dipping our toes into that in this class. Well, this class is about primarily the living religions of the day. We'll begin by looking at some kind of ancient, quote unquote, dead religions, just to start asking ourselves some kind of questions that will apply to all the religions we'll be exploring over the next several weeks together. So this class that we'll be doing together is what's called an asynchronous course, which means we will not be having regular course meetings where I'll expect you to show up on a Zoom or a Google Meet. I will not be lecturing live as a synchronous class would do. And so what that means is that once we get going and you get into the course Blackboard site, which I hope will be up and running and available to you by the end of this week, the GRCC is refurbishing it and uploading and updating the software, so it's not open right now as I'm making this video on Monday. But what you'll find is once we get going and this opens up, each week will have its own folder on the Blackboard site under an assignments link. And what I'll be expecting you to do is you'll open that folder, and generally speaking, you'll complete all the work that's assigned in that folder by the end of that week. Now, I'll give everybody some grace as we get going, as people get used to kind of the rhythm and flow of the class. If you're new to online education, I'm still kind of working out the bumps myself. So the first 2-3 weeks, I'll give people grace to kind of catch up on things, get the course text and such. But once we get into the class, I'll expect that each of you will each week will open up a weekly folder and then complete all the work in that folder by the end of the week. And in that folder, you'll find things like video lectures by myself, some short films to watch, reading responses, discussion forums, reading quizzes, and the like. And I will do my best to map it out and lay it out as intuitively and user-friendly as I possibly can. So I'm hoping by the end of this week, Friday or Saturday, you should be able to open up the course Blackboard site, have a look at the syllabus, and have a look at the first week's assignments. And as always, any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email at jeffreywinkle@grcc.edu. Now, one thing you can do, of course, before the course begins, or as soon as possible, I should say, is get a hold of the assigned text. So I'm asking you to acquire these two texts. This one on the left here, Living Religions by Mary Pat Fisher and Robin Reinhardt, will be kind of our main course text. More or less, kind of each chapter in this book is devoted to a particular religion or a particular theme, and we'll be working our way through it. I think the 10th edition is the latest one, and that's what I have ordered from the GRCC bookstore. If you find an earlier edition of this text or this text over here, and it's cheaper, I say, and you want to save money, I say go for it. Textbooks are one of the things that are vastly overpriced these days. If you're able to swing kind of the latest edition, do it. But if you want to save money, I understand that as well by getting an earlier edition. The editions don't change all that much from edition to edition, but when it does come to, if I assign page numbers or if I quote something from the text, there's a chance it might be in a later edition and not an earlier one. So get it if you can. Over here, so this is our main text, and this one over here is an anthology of religions, living religions. It's a companion text to this one, where this one gives you kind of the broad overview of the religions, and then this one will be give you specific readings from sacred texts and the kind of thinkers and philosophers and teachers from various religions, and we'll be reading selections, almost all the selections from both of these textbooks. So please get these as soon as you can. You can get them from the GRCC bookstore, online or in person, although I'm not sure what their hours are these days. You can find them on Amazon, and do some looking around. Look for used editions, of course. See what kind of rental options are available to you. And of course, let me know if you're having trouble finding these texts. All right, now we'll say more of this as we get into the course next week, but just to kind of give you a brief overview, we'll be covering a lot of ground in the next 14, 15 weeks. Well, like I said, we'll be beginning with some ancient, kind of quote unquote dead religions. We'll be looking at some aspects of ancient Greek and Roman mythology and religion, which, as I said, is kind of stems from my own expertise, but I think it certainly applies to what we're trying to do in this class. We'll be looking at indigenous religions. That would be kind of religions of, say, Native Americans or, say, African tribes. In course lectures, we'll be looking specifically at the Australian Aboriginal peoples. From there, we get into the so-called kind of Eastern religions: Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. These kind of philosophies slash religions from that are largely associated with China today, and then on to the Middle East with a look at Zoroastrianism. This small but still surviving religion that is stems from kind of ancient Persia, kind of modern day Iran. And then we'll shift from there into the look at what's sometimes called the big monotheistic religions, the big three, or the religions of the book. They share lots of history and culture and scripture in some cases together: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And then we'll cap off our semester with a look at Sikhism, which kind of takes us back to India, back to the East, so to speak. And Sikhism is, as our text defines it, a kind of a really interesting hybrid between kind of Eastern polytheistic religion and monotheistic ideas. So this is a ton of stuff. This is a lot to cover here, and in no way do I claim to be an expert on all of these things. I've taught this class a number of times, and so and it never fails to fascinate me. I find this a fascinating, really fun class to teach, and I always learn something every time I do it. But this is, we're going at a pretty steady clip. And this class does not promise you kind of expertise in any one of these religions, but I do hope that we'll dig deep and we'll get beneath the surface of a lot of these, and that you can walk away with this course with a really solid grasp on the major world religions that populate the earth today. All right, that's all I got. So look for more stuff on the Blackboard site as it opens up. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. Just shoot me an email at any time. See you soon.